Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Spotify Growth live stream. My name is Ryan Votzek from the Indie Music Academy, and I'm so glad to be hanging out with you today, answering your questions about Spotify growth. Especially today, our topic is about Spotify playlist promotion. And so I just want to let you know that this time is all about you. We can spend it however you'd like. Just put your questions in the chat and I will be responding to whatever you want to talk about today, as long as it's related to Spotify or Spotify growth or Spotify playlist promotion specifically. Last week, we talked about Spotify growth broadly. We talked about the different ways to grow on Spotify, the different marketing methods. And today we're narrowing it down. We're covering just one of those ways. Obviously, Spotify playlist promotion is our topic. Now, as you're getting your questions in the chat, and really quick, just type a little hello or something so I know who's here with me. Always love to just establish that this is a two-way thing. You don't have to just listen to me ramble on, but I do want to get to know you, want to answer your questions specifically. So definitely start typing in that chat. Just say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And as you're doing that, I'm going to give you just an overview of the category and the use case that Spotify playlist promotion provides for independent artists such as yourself. Now, we talked last week about the different methods and we compared them, and we learned that different promotion methods have pros and cons, benefits and drawbacks, and they also can yield different results, right? So there isn't just one promotion method that is going to cover everything. There's nothing, if only everything was that simple, right? But there's not one promotion method that is just do one thing and you're just going to skyrocket to the top, right? Each promotion item and marketing strategy, I would think of it as a lane. It has a lane of expertise, and Spotify playlist promotion would be in the category of what is called influencer marketing. And let me know in the chat if you've ever heard of influencer marketing. Usually, this is talked about in the context of maybe Instagram. Maybe you've seen influencers on Instagram or TikTok that are posting on behalf of another brand, another creator. Maybe they're doing some kind of content swap or content sharing. And the idea behind influencer marketing is that someone else who has an audience is going to share that audience with someone who wants the attention. I almost said impressions and intention at the same time, but basically you're after both attention, impressions, and visibility. And so that's what influencer marketing is. It's a relationship between an influencer and the person who is the subject matter and is getting promoted. Okay. Everyone with me so far? So the way that this applies to Spotify is that Spotify, much like a social media, has playlists with followers, and those playlists are owned by an account owner. And so as artists, we look to the playlist influencers, right? The playlist curators as influencers who can give us the attention that we need on our music. And so that's why Spotify playlist promotion is in that category of influencer marketing. And it's a really great way to get a lot of streams on your music. It's a great way to get data and analytics in your Spotify for artists, because if your Spotify is sitting at 0 streams or a low number of streams, maybe 10, 12 streams per month, that's not enough data for Spotify to actually chew on. And if you're expecting to one day trigger the algorithm, hopefully get some related artists on your channel, on your profile, I should say, then you need data in order for Spotify to interpret that data. Now, data is just a fancy word for streams, right? Because every time someone streams your song, Spotify knows exactly who that listener is, right? Spotify keeps track of the listener's habits, which artists that they're choosing, how long they're listening to a song, and Spotify creates an algorithm surrounding that listener, much in the way that YouTube, when you open up YouTube, you get your YouTube recommended content on your home screen. So that's why the data is important as an artist, because if we have people listening to our music, our listeners are providing data points for Spotify to profile and categorize who we are as a creative person, as a musical artist. Is that making sense so far? And I just want to say hello to everyone. How's it going, Terry? Thanks for dropping a hello in the chat. Let me know if you're tuning in. What's up, TC from Washington, D.C.? How's it going? Mix Our Band. How's it going? Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Cuts. Yo, great to see you all here today. So, I just wanted to give you that overview because Spotify playlist promotion is really good at a few things, right? It's really good at getting you streams. And the reason for that is because there's a baked in audience with these playlists. There are people who are already listening, already streaming, and you can kind of equate that to views or impressions on a platform like Instagram, right? And I'll be making the Instagram comparison a lot because it's very easy to imagine what influencer marketing looks like on a social media platform that we all use, right? For example, in case you're new to influencer marketing, let's just imagine that a brand like Coca-Cola wanted to get its product in front of more people. Well, what they would do is they would find an Instagram account, right? Let's say Selena Gomez, for example, and they would pay Selena Gomez to create content and to post, maybe holding and drinking a Coca-Cola, right? So the product is in the post, right? The way that that translates to Spotify is that we have the same players, we have the same characters of this relationship, where the playlist owner is like the account holder of that Instagram account. And once they add a song to a playlist, that visibility and the impressions and the streams, right? Because on Spotify, everything is in terms of streams. Those streams are very accessible and easy to get because the audience is already baked in to the account. And that's otherwise they wouldn't be called an influencer, right? If they didn't have anyone to influence. So the reason why Spotify playlist promotion is such a hot topic is because there are different levels of quality. And this is something I've talked about a lot on the channel. You've probably heard of bots before. Let me know in the chat if you know what a bot is, or bot streams or fake streams. All of those are synonyms really for the same thing. But Spotify playlist promotion does have a little bit of a dark side as well. And that's because these fake playlists that look real, maybe they have a great image that's like similar to what Spotify has, or they have a title that sounds really legit. These fake playlists are starting to pop up, and it can actually be pretty scary and a little bit dangerous, not knowing if you're getting on a real playlist or one of these fake playlists. And let me know if you are new to this world, and I can explain that a little bit more. But over at the Indie Music Academy, we have a very strict methodology for figuring out which playlists are actually worth getting on. And what we do is we look at the Spotify search rankings, and we determine where a playlist ranks, and we assign a value based off of how large the following is, how many streams are getting provided by that playlist, but most importantly, whether or not it's getting shown in the Spotify search results. How many of you guys have ever heard of something called search engine optimization? It's called SEO. Maybe you've heard of SEO in relationship to your website because you want to rank high on Google. And the way that the search rankings work is that high quality content gets rewarded in the search and it ranks higher. Low quality content will rank lower or maybe not even appear at all in search results. And Spotify has a search result ranking as well. In fact, if you guys are on your phone or on your computer right now, if you type in any keyword at all, it can be a single word, it could be two words in a two keyword string. Any search that you type into the Spotify search bar is going to result in a search ranking in an order. And you'll see that there is a playlist that ranks first in the first result slot. And then there's a playlist in the second slot and third and so on. And Spotify takes all of the thousands of playlists that exist on their platform and actually ranks them right there in the search result per keyword. So if you go to Spotify right now, you can do this at home. Just type in a keyword that maybe fits with your genre, right? Or it can be a mood or something seasonal. Like, for example, in the summer, a playlist search is like barbecue playlist, right? Because people will be grilling. They just want to get like a mood or a vibe going for their maybe backyard gathering. And so that is the keyword that they search in Spotify. Maybe around this time, because we're heading into the holiday season and Christmas, a lot of these holiday winter lists are going to start popping up because of the seasonal shifts. But each keyword that you put in the search result is going to result in a ranking, the search bar, rather. Anything you put in the search bar will result in a ranking. And so what we do is we listen to basically what Spotify is telling us. Spotify is already prioritizing lists with good health, great traffic, great user engagement. And you've probably heard of a list before where every single artist on the list is just unknown, which is a bad sign, by the way. And so that directly ties to user experience because people want to listen to music, a mix of music that they love, but also new music that is within a certain category that's going to be appropriate for that listening session. So, yeah, Spotify pays attention to all of that and it generates a ranking. So, I'm here to, well, that was the overview, but I'm here to answer your questions about Spotify playlists. I've helped artists get over 100 million streams on Spotify. Our service is one of the top ranked in the world. You can check out a bunch of blog reviews, a bunch of YouTube reviews on our service, and I use it personally for my music. And so I am just here. I'm going to stop blabbing. I'm here to answer your questions about anything Spotify and Spotify playlist promotion. Oh, and I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention that we are also running a Black Friday sale this week. And if you are curious about how this works, or if you're curious about trying it for yourself, now's a great time to secure that discount. And you can submit your song, and we have a 100% refund guarantee just in case it doesn't work out and no influencers uh, are available for your genre or anything like that. So go ahead and either type in the chat, or we can actually, there is a questions feature here in YouTube. So whatever, what should we do, Marcelo? Should we use the questions feature? I think that would probably be the most organized. So yeah, I'm here for you. I saw a question up earlier that I definitely wanted to address, but I don't see it anymore. Maybe the user deleted it. So yeah, questions are now open. Go ahead and drop them in. And yeah, let's use this time for whatever you want to talk about. I am at your service. Thanks, Marcelo, for engaging that questions feature. Yeah, it looks like a few more people have tuned in. How's it going? Let me know where you're tuning in from. We're talking about Spotify playlist promotion. We're talking about Spotify growth. And we're talking about your music. So if you have any questions at all, let me know. I'm an open book. Love talking about this. I'm a musician myself. I love music and I love marketing. So let me know. I actually don't know where the questions will pop in. I'm looking at the chat right now. How's it going, guys? What's up, David from Portland? Anastasia, also from Portland. That's awesome. Hey, Pablo, tuning in from California. Welcome. Hey, Mike, good to see you again. Massachusetts. What's up? Slow music from Poland. Nice. Thanks for being a customer, man. Hey, Honey Trap, how's it going? Yeah, you're so welcome. Honey Trap says, thanks for all your help with our campaign. You're so welcome. No questions submitted yet, so you guys just want to hang out? Totally awesome. I'm down to hang out with you guys. What's up, Pierre? Tuning in from Quebec, Canada. Welcome. Love it. We have a global audience here. David has a great question. He's asking, is it safe to upload a demo to Spotify? I'm a lyricist, and David's asking, should he upload his demos to Spotify using a distributor like CD Baby, DistroKid, TuneCore, Lander? That's a great question, David. And actually, I have a blog post talking about this. Um, Marcelo, if you can find it really quickly, no worries, I'll find it in a bit. But we do have a blog post specifically talking about what you should do with your demos, what you should do if you are releasing music for the first time. That's a great blog post, but I'll give you the summary really quick right now while Marcelo is hopefully grabbing the link. But I would suggest not uploading your demos to DistroKid and uploading them to Spotify. What I would do instead is I would use a an easier to manage, a self-managed platform like SoundCloud or Bandcamp. So SoundCloud or Bandcamp is a lot easier to use, and you don't have to go through a distributor. You don't actually have to pay for either. Let me see if that's the link. I'm going to open it right now. Yes, that's the exact blog post I was thinking. It's called "How to Release a Song as a Total Beginner." Now, I'm not saying that you're a total beginner skills wise, but right, this demo is an earlier stage compared to a final master, right? A final master recording would be the legal term, right? And so there are wonderful things that you can do with a demo. You can market that demo. You can even do a song release for that demo. But I would do it actually utilizing one of those self-managed platforms, because what I believe as a marketer is that really a song release is all about audience growth. And so I would love for you to release that demo and grow your audience in the process. And DistroKid and Spotify don't really need to be important players if all you have is a demo. Now, if you have a final master, of course, upload that to Spotify, because then you're starting to build your catalog of masters, right? And what I mean by masters is the final version of the audio that is set in stone, and that's how the song is going to exist through time. So that's a fantastic question, David. I hope you checked out that blog post. It's a really good one. Spent a lot of time on it, and I hope it gives you a lot of marketing insights for what you can do if you're releasing a demo or you're early on in your release process. So I hope that helps a lot. And yeah, I think that link is, the link is in the chat. Marcelo dropped that link, but I'll drop it again since I do have the copy paste button right here. There we go. Thanks, Marcelo. Yeah, Marcelo is on the team. He's our wonderful moderator today. And so if he drops anything, you'll see the little gear icon. I think the gear icon's showing up on your guys' end. So yeah, Marcel is going to be helping out with the chat, helping out with the links. And I do see a question from Ricardo. He's asking, I'm still scared of the concept of buying streams. Has anyone ever gotten in trouble from the service? And hello from SoCal. Hello. I used to live in San Diego, by the way. I now live in Nashville, Music City, which is, I love it here in Nashville too. But Southern California is just some of the most beautiful, just one of my favorite places. So how's it going? Yeah, so this is an amazing question. The concept of buying streams is definitely something I'm weary of as well. I would definitely want to trace that back to the root of the marketing that is happening, okay? Because there are two things that are definitely true. It's definitely true with our service, right? The first thing that's true is that you're buying something, right? You're buying a service, you're hiring our team, right? We have a team of about 5 people that actually work on your campaign, work on your account, and make it happen, right? So that's what the funds are going towards. The funds are also going towards hiring and compensating an influencer because their audience has value. And I think by this time in 2023, we realize that gathering an audience does have value, right? And so we want to compensate influencers for that. And there's actually a technical, logistical reason for that too. If we don't compensate if we don't compensate them, right, then they won't listen to us, right? So that's important as well. The other thing that's happening is that you are getting streams, right? So you are buying a service, you are hiring our team, and the result is getting streams. But I want to trace it back to the marketing that's happening behind the scenes. Like I described earlier, it is an influencer marketing campaign. So what we don't do is we don't just run up your numbers and there's actual no impressions, no visibility, no real humans behind it. That's not what we do, right? Other services do some kind of sketchy, shady thing where, yeah, you buy the streams, and what's happening is that they just have some computer in a basement somewhere, and it's just running up the number on your Spotify profile. And I definitely disagree with that. I don't think that's real marketing. I don't think that's a good approach at all. And it's actually against the Spotify terms of service. And what we do is we market your music within line of the Spotify terms of service, and we never violate that. So you're never in danger of your music getting flagged for improper use of the platform. We don't use bots. We have a very strict checklist and guideline for the playlist to make sure that these are not bot lists, that they were grown properly. We use tools like Chartmetric to check the history, or so the historical data of the playlist, to make sure that no bots have ever been involved, because there are signs of that, especially big follower drops when Spotify cleans out the bot accounts. We do all of that to make sure that we are running a true influencer marketing campaign, which is a legitimate form of marketing, and not one of those other categories of sketchy pseudo marketing that's really doing nothing more than just manipulating a number, um, yeah, just for outward appearance, right? What we do is we actually get your music in front of real humans. And I think that's a huge distinction. And I just wanted to, at least for our service, ease your fears, because you're not just buying streams for us. You're actually hiring a team that is enacting an influencer marketing campaign on your behalf. So let me know if that makes sense, Ricardo. I wanted to make sure I explained that clearly, and let you know that I'm also here to answer any follow-up questions if you want me to dig deeper on anything. But great question from Ricardo. I will also see if there's anything else in the chat that popped in. All right. What's up, Wild Horse Music? Congratulations on publishing your first album. He says it's up on Spotify, but I have no views. That's okay. It takes time. And he says, I posted my link on Facebook, YouTube, and etc. I guess the question that's baked in here is, what should I do next? And yeah, let me know if that's your question. I don't want to assume, but if you're posting on social media, that's of course wonderful. Um, what you're doing is you're posting to your audience, right? So your contained audience that you've been able to grow over time, and that's wonderful. If you have a mailing list, it would be fantastic for you to either work on growing your mailing list so that you can post, or I should say, blast your mailing list whenever you do have a new release out. But beyond that, you can try running ads. We talked about that last week. If you do targeted and well built Facebook and Instagram ads, you can use that to grow your Spotify. In addition to Spotify playlist promotion, like what we've been talking about today so far. But then beyond that, I would say I think it would be time to enact a specific content strategy that you can use, and that can be a driver for more attention, more impressions, and hopefully convert that into more streams. And a content strategy would also translate into not only organic impressions, but you can also use a great content strategy and repurpose those videos into your ads as well. So um, let me know if that is the direction that you were going. Oh, I do see that you do have a follow-up question down below, so I'll definitely hit that. But let me know if you have anything else that you'd love me to cover. Love to dive back in. What's up, Cole? Tuning in from Fort Worth, Texas. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. How's it going, Pablo? Pablo's asking, What's the best way to get on a playlist? One of my songs got put on a playlist automatically, but I haven't gotten any others. Yeah, so you know, man, there's a couple of categories, but I just want to just broadly, right? In order to get on a playlist, there's two main categories. Either a real human literally drags your song into a playlist, and that's the first category, right? So a user of Spotify, a real person. The other way to get on a playlist is through the Spotify algorithm, right? So that is the Spotify app, right? It's the coding, it's the framework that the Spotify staff built, right? You can get on a Spotify algorithmic playlist, and that's based on data. So that's based on historic streams, user patterns surrounding your catalog and your songs. And if you have data on your music, if you have listeners, right, listening to your song, streaming your song, and providing that data, like I mentioned to you earlier, you can always watch the replay if you tuned in after that explanation, by the way. But that data is used, and you can get your music on a Spotify algorithmic playlist. And there's a lot of different algorithmic playlists that you can get on. There's Discover Weekly, which you might have heard of before. There's the Spotify radio algorithm, which is another great one. There's other ones like in repeat playlists, which is if a user listens, or on repeat playlists, which if a user listens to your song multiple times, then you will algorithmically get added to their personalized playlists. So, to answer your question more direct, Pablo, you need someone to add you to that playlist, or Spotify needs to be the one to add you through the Spotify algorithm. And yes, of course, there are editorials, but I'm not necessarily going to address editorials because that is a very small category. Uh, just briefly, an editorial is someone who is on the Spotify staff. They are the human that adds you, right? So it's very similar to influencer marketing, except Spotify is the influencer. You can think of it in that way. So yeah, editorial playlists are a category. Then there are regular playlists run by. Hey everyone, are we back? I hope so. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to the video, but an overall, just to unplug, plug it back in seems to always work. So we are back. Thanks for your patience for that. I actually forgot the last sentence that I said, but I'm pretty sure I was giving the categories of the different types of playlists. So I'll just backtrack there. But yeah, you have the editorials, which is basically where Spotify is the influencer. Then you have all the other playlists that are owned by regular users of the platform, and some of them have large audiences, and those are like the influencers that you'll want to target. And they're not on Spotify's staff, right? They are just regular influencers that have an audience, that curate their own playlists, and they really do a great job. They care about their audiences. They want to have or they want to curate a good listening experience, right? Because that's basically their job, right? If they curate a bad listening experience, then people won't use their playlist, and they'll drop in rankings, and they won't really be an influencer anymore. So they get rewarded for doing their job well, and that's important to note, because not all influencers are created equal, right? So the better the influencer, Spotify will reward them with higher rankings on their playlists, more streams, and yeah, it's just it is a win-win situation when an influencer places a good artist with a good song on a good list. If the perfect marriage is made, then the influencer is going to benefit as well. And then lastly, the third category is the algorithmic playlist. So, sorry once again about the video going out, but I hope I answered that question. And I'm going to try to get back to where I was on the chat. Let's see. Hmm. Michael has a good question. How's it going, man? He says, I have a bad experience with buying streams. And yes, I don't blame you because a lot of companies out there don't do it right. But he's saying, when I look at the number of streams and how many listeners it's having, it says 50 listeners that generates 1,500 streams. Yeah, so I think I'm getting what the question is there, and that's an example of most likely bots. There's two clues there. Whenever the listeners is a direct multiple of the streams, that just screams computer generated to me. Also, another thing that is obviously bots is where the listeners is so far, or I should say, the streams is such a multiple of the listeners, and your listener source is so small compared to the stream result. That just is, you know, absolutely crystal clear that you have a couple of computers, right? So maybe a couple of computers with VPNs, or maybe their Raspberry Pis, or however they set it up. I don't know. I've never seen one in real life before, but they probably have some kind of basement or garage with a bunch of machines that are streaming your song. And that's how you get that drastic multiple and that differential between listeners and streams. And like scammers, what they'll do is they'll say, "Man, like, look, you're getting really great engagement on this playlist." They'll spin it off in some way. They'll say, "Look how many, look at your listener to stream ratio. It's so high. It's really great." But that's not true. All of that is just a manipulation of the numbers. And the scary thing too is that they can also automate song saves as well. So streams to listener ratio being too high is a red flag. Song saves being too high, that's a red flag. Okay, and so you definitely want to be aware of the tactics that scammers use so that you can recognize them readily. Okay, so hope that helps, Michael. Thanks so much for submitting that question. Um, Cole is asking a great question. What's the return on investment for paying for a playlisting service? Um, he lists some numbers like 20,000 streams at 0.005 per streams. That nets me $100 in mechanical royalties. So yeah, I'll just say overall, Cole, the influencer marketing or any marketing, whether it's ads, influencers, um, what else would there be? Yeah, Facebook ads, I would say an influencer is probably the biggest cost, right, of marketing. I would never expect a profit or a return on a single song. Okay. You just can't expect that at all, no matter what the traffic source is. Heck, let's even take organic posting, and whether you want to quantify it as like your time spent, or maybe you have to hire an editor, or maybe, yeah, let's just say time, right? Time and editing. Like if you put together a content strategy and you were quantifying that for just one song generating streams, it's never going to be worth it. Okay. And I don't want to be depressing, but if you're thinking that small, it'd be putting too much pressure on a single song to build your entire music career, right? And that doesn't make sense. It'd be like saying, I'm going to release one single, and that one single is going to, be all I need for my catalog. It's going to, be everything my fan base needs to connect with me. It's just unrealistic. And so, similar with marketing, I would never expect a single song to paint a ROI picture and instead think of it as a catalog. What does the audience growth and what does the traffic generation do for me and my catalog? Right? What does it do for my music brand, the catalog that I'm building, and the bigger picture? I think that's the right way to look at it, Cole. But yeah, I'll just be transparent though. Usually, marketing is a negative ROI in any business. Okay, especially if it's acquisition marketing, which that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about finding someone who's never heard of you before and introducing your brand to the first time. Okay. Acquisition. And so if you're doing acquisition marketing in any business niche, whether that's music, whether that's brick and mortar, right? If you're starting a restaurant, whatever it is, that always starts in the negative, and it's up to you to build the catalog. If we're talking about music example, right? Build the catalog, build the product line, build the audience capture systems, right? Like mailing lists. I talked about mailing lists earlier, right? So that you have a business and you don't mistake just one marketing tactic, one audience capture campaign as something that's supposed to turn you into a profitable business automatically. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that's making sense. But yeah, just to be completely straightforward, usually marketing results in a negative ROI. Okay. Fantastic question, Cole. Thank you so much for bringing that up because we learned some really good, just overall marketing principles through that discussion. So let me know if you have any follow up questions, and I'd love to circle back and let you know. We got another question from, oh, I'm going to butcher this username, Ermonte. How's it going? They're asking, do you work with songs that have been released already or only new releases? Which is a fantastic question. So our company works with pre-existing releases, right? So older songs and new releases alike. So there's no song too old. In fact, the first time I actually ever started experimenting with Spotify playlist promotion, I actually did it. My very first campaign was on an older release, and it worked really well. And it actually triggered the Spotify radio algorithm that I mentioned earlier. It's one of those algorithmic playlists. And so, yeah, so that's a great example of it not only working on an older song, but it can also be a great fit for an older song too, because you can provide that data to Spotify at any time. And to my knowledge, there's only a benefit of having like a good bump in your release, right? Because that's why we want mailing lists so that we can get the word out immediately on release day. But there's no disadvantage from marketing a song that's in your catalog. Like that's your catalog. That's your legacy that you're building. And just because a song is older doesn't mean you have to ignore it. So I hope that clarifies that. Just in general, I would say marketing older tunes is totally fine. And specifically, our service, yeah, totally works on songs that already exist in your catalog. All right. Keep those questions coming, guys. It's been really fun. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to circle back or explain in more detail, or go ahead and ask a brand new question. We can talk about whatever you want, Spotify related, Spotify playlisting. Oh, and I wanted to say for the new people tuning in, uh, we have a Spotify influencer marketing service that we have, and if you want to become a client, now is a great time because we do have a Black Friday discount that's live. So if you are interested in that, definitely inquire. I just want to make sure that the new people know about that. I did mention it earlier, but definitely secure that discount. All right. So heading back into the chat. Let's see here. Jacob has a good question about playlists and genre. He says, I've previously had my indie rock songs placed on general pop playlists, and I want to make sure that this doesn't happen. Would we be able to ensure it ends up on an indie rock playlist? Man, that's a fantastic question. Um, I'll give that answer just straight up. So, in order to be in line with the Spotify terms of service, we cannot solicit specific playlists directly. Okay. It's so important for us to make sure that your music is safe. We need to operate as a company legitimately. And so we don't break the Spotify terms of service. A lot of other playlisting companies do, in multiple ways, and that's at your own risk and it's at the company's risk as well. But we just like doing things very clean and very to the book. And so that means, once again, that we cannot solicit playlists directly. What we do is we do an influencer marketing campaign. We hire the influencer to partner with our artists. Okay. That's the right way to do it. And that's what we do at the Indie Music Academy. So, to answer your question, Jacob, what we do is we find an influencer match that has fantastic playlists within your artist genre that is the exact direction that we want to go. However, the influencer will make the specific playlist decision on their own, okay? So the influencer who is the owner of the playlist, right? They have, usually multiple playlists, probably 3 to 5 to choose from. They will make the final decision on the best fit. And there have been times in the past where the artist does disagree with what the influencer thought was a great fit, and that really just comes down to, taste, listening tastes. Um, and so if that ever happens with the client, what we do is we just let the influencer know, hey, you know, is there anything else that we can do? The client doesn't agree with this placement, and they'll just let us know this is the only place, or they'll try to make something work. But we love to stay in line with the Spotify terms of service, and so that's how we operate, and it's safest for the artist at the end of the day. So let me know if that answers your question. Whose question was that again? Oh yeah, Jacob. If you're still tuned in, let me know if that answers. Feel free to ask any follow-up questions. But like I mentioned earlier too, it's in the influencer's best interest anyways to create the best listening experience on Spotify in order to keep their playlist ranking, right? If they mismatch songs, if they mismanage their playlist, if they take songs that they should not have taken and should have been refunded instead, right? That's going to hurt the influencer, and that's going to hurt their ranking. So it's really in the best interest of all parties that we operate this way. I truly believe, and yeah, I definitely don't want to break the Spotify terms of service because that's just not great. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Michael says thanks. You're so welcome. Yeah, thanks for the questions. Great questions, everyone. Keep them coming. I'll be here for another 10, 15 minutes or so. So definitely get those questions submitted. I'm an open book for you. Just want to make sure that you are served today, that you get the information that you need. Cole says, thanks so much. You're so welcome, Cole. Thanks for submitting your question. Wild Horse has a great question. Do people have success with merch on Spotify? It seems like making $10 on a t-shirt is easier than thousands of streams. That is a fantastic question because it's bringing in the concept of leverage, right? Money leverage. How do you make a dollar? Because there's a million ways to do it, right? And the concept of leverage is, well, do I pull on this lever to make a dollar, or do I pull on this lever to make a dollar, right? And one is going to be easier than the other. So fantastic question. And I think you're onto something here because I'm, as a holistic marketer, I market multiple platforms, right? And I love to teach independent artists on how they all are woven together and how they all fit, right? Because different platforms are good at different things. And you're hitting the nail right on the head. Where I love to tell artists that, yeah, setting up something as simple as a Patreon is a better lever. It's You're getting more leverage to earn that dollar compared to something like Spotify. However, Spotify is a necessary social platform, if you will, for your music to get consumed and discovered. And Spotify has an algorithm, much like Instagram and other social media platforms do for discovery. And so they're just different. They're important in different ways. But absolutely, you are correct that a stream and the royalty that's earned from that stream is a low leverage way to make money, and there are higher leverage things that an independent artist can do, such as selling a T-shirt. And so, just in general, my overall advice is absolutely, uh, invest time and energy in looking into those higher leverage options, in addition to growing your Spotify, because once again, I would say it's an essential social media as a musician. It's the only social media, maybe other than TikTok, where you can follow and stream uh, uh, the songs for a musical artist, right? It has that follow element and also has the algorithm for discovery. So that's why I'm kind of grouping it as a social media, because of the follower and algorithm and discovery element to the platform. So let me know if that makes sense. It looks like Marcelo is having some side conversations in the chat. Fantastic. I hope you guys are getting tons of value. And let's see, check in for more questions. Cole is asking, does IMA have any deals coming up for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Yes, we do. We absolutely do. In order to get notified of everything that we're doing this week and next week, definitely be an email subscriber. Um, the best way to do that is actually below this video. There are a bunch of freebies. There is my Spotify marketing comparison guide. You can get that for free right now. Just click the link below and you will become a subscriber, because I deliver it via email. Another free thing you can get is my marketing workshop. Go ahead and grab that. Link is below this video. If you grab that, you're not only going to get tons of videos, tons of downloads, tons of PDFs and marketing guides, but you'll also learn about our Black Friday deals. And we do have a sale running right now. So thanks so much for asking, Cole. And I definitely want to make sure that you get notified of the multiple things that we're doing and the multiple prizes that we have running for Black Friday. So it's a fun time. I definitely wouldn't want you to miss out, especially since you're here. If you are a subscriber on YouTube, definitely become an email subscriber to get the full experience and all of the freebies and the discounts and the free content that we put out every week. So hope that helps. Great questions, everyone. I'm just checking the chat. Dave T999 username is asking, what's the difference between Spotify playlists and DistroKid playlists? It's actually a really good question. I don't know what DistroKid's doing over there, actually. And yeah, I've heard a bunch of different things. I can't actually speak to it with authority because I'm not a DistroKid user. Um, I'm not sure what DistroKid's doing, but just in general, a Spotify playlist is a playlist that is on the Spotify app, and you are marketing on the same platform that you are growing. And that's an important thing, because Spotify playlist promotion is so effective because you're reaching the users that are already on the platform that you want to grow. There's no transfer of user. There's no converting from one platform to another. So I'm not sure what DistroKid does, but um, you want to know the principle that if you have to convert someone from like Instagram to Spotify, or someone from TikTok to Spotify, or someone from DistroKid to Spotify, which I'm not sure what they do exactly. But that takes marketing energy, and usually that takes marketing funds. Okay, with Spotify, your marketing funds are being used on the same platform, and you don't have to convert, and that usually results in more streams for your dollar. So that's the general principle, and I wanted to make sure that that was covered. But I don't really know about DistroKid playlists, so sorry I wasn't able to answer that part. Got a great question from Diana. She's asking, a lyric video I made is approaching 8,000 views on YouTube. Is there a way to use that to my advantage on Spotify? That's a great question. And there is, maybe not in the way that you think, but what I always say is that if something is doing well organically, then that's a good indication that it has good engagement, right? Because the algorithm, or like organic traction, or all of these like fancy terms, really just boils down to, are people liking it, are they watching it, and are they responding to it? Okay. And so if you have great traction on YouTube, and people are doing those three things, they're liking it, they're watching it, and they're responding to it, then that could be a great candidate for a Spotify growth advertisement. And that's a little more complex. That's not something that is in the category of playlist promotion, but that is something that we do teach at the Indie Music Academy. And if you want to learn more about that, Marcelo can drop the link, or I can do it really quick, to the Spotify growth formula program that we run. Okay. It's a fantastic program, and it specifically talks about how to do this marketing tactic. Okay. It specifically talks about using video, and using video to grow your Spotify. And so you might be a good candidate for that. No pressure at all. If Marcelo can grab that link, he'll drop it. And I think that was the checkout link, but send the link to the info page. There it is. Okay. Yeah. That's the info page. No pressure. I want you to read that and just see if you're a fit. Okay. See if you're a fit so that you can potentially join up, and I want you to decide for yourself. Okay, no pressure at all. But it sounds to me, based off of the situation that you're in, that using your video could be a great way to grow your Spotify. Yeah, you're very welcome, Diana. Yeah, let me know if you have any follow-up questions. Username, you, me, and the idiots. Great username. I love it. Has a great question. He's asking, why Spotify? Having 10,000 streams on Spotify and 3 streams on Apple Music and YouTube and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it looks good, uh, paying for plays, but if a song is good, won't all platforms have similar numbers? That's a great question. That's a really good question. I'll break it down into a few chunks. And actually, this is a really common thing that I hear. It's that question like, well, if the music is good, shouldn't it just like get visibility on its own? Or if the music is good, shouldn't it have like similar numbers on similar platforms? Um, and why Spotify? So I'll tackle all of that in that multi-layered question. So basically, traffic and streams need to be driven, okay? And the idea of, if the music is good, it doesn't really hold water in the digital space, okay? Because you can take that and apply it to anything. Well, if the YouTube video is good, like, shouldn't it just get picked up in the algorithm? Well, not necessarily. You need to do specific things in order the algorithm to pick it up, right? You have to have a great intro. You have to worry about watch time, right? You have to have a view to subscriber ratio, right? You have to have good engagement in the comments, right? So in an algorithmic setting, or I should say in an organic setting, you're still checking boxes in order to have a result. Okay. In an in an advertising setting, right? So now we're running campaigns, whether that's Facebook ads or influencer marketing campaigns. The same is true, right? In order to promote a song, or I should back up. In order for a song to get in front of people, you need to have some kind of driver, right? You need to either promote it or you need to play to the algorithmic engines. And Spotify has both, okay? That's why I think Spotify is a great platform that offers more compared to some of the other streaming services, okay? For example, Apple Music doesn't have third-party curators. It doesn't really have an algorithm in the same way that Spotify does, right? So Spotify, by definition, is a better discovery platform, okay? It's more social. It's more like a social media, right? Think of it as a social media that actually pays you when your content is streamed. That's an interesting way to slice it, I think, right? Maybe shines a new, different light on Spotify, right? So, why Spotify? You have the ability uh, to advertise and bring visibility to your music catalog, but at the same time, Spotify is also an engine, an algorithm in of itself that can bring new visibility in addition to everything you're doing organically or paid, right? And so it's a dynamic platform that can be harnessed and used for the growth of your music audience. That's the end goal at the end of the day. Why Spotify? Well, it's the same answer as, well, why grow an Instagram? Why grow your mailing list? It's for audience growth because that is the true root of your power and influence as an artist, right? Because audience is what's going to provide your income. It's who you're going to release to, and it opens the doors for literally everything. Um, as you're growing as a musical artist. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any follow up questions. And it looks like medical music keeps either deleting their comments or they're being naughty. If you're being naughty, stop. But if you have a question, feel free to uh, drop it in the chat. So yeah, great question, by the way. I love answering those questions because it really digs to the core of it. Why Spotify? Why do we even care about that platform? Let me know if you have any follow-up questions about that, because you know, it's a good one. It's one that needs to be talked about. So I love that you asked that. Quick question from Vince. He's asking, does AWOL promote artists? And the answer is yes and no. AWOL does not promote their artists unless if you get signed by AWOL. So I would just uh, basically say like AWOL does not promote until you reach a certain level. Great questions. And I'll answer one or two more because we're right up on the clock. But I just want to say thanks so much for hanging out. If you have not grabbed any of the freebies that I have for you below this video, definitely do that now. I've got all kinds of stuff. One of them is a fantastic Spotify marketing comparison guide. What I do is I compare all of the different marketing scenarios and which marketing tactic you should use in order to reach your goal. If you haven't checked that out, it's definitely worth a download. It's in the link below. I got a free marketing workshop if you would prefer to learn marketing from the ground up. I have a good video series for you there. Um, what else do I have for you? Uh, if you're interested in checking out our Spotify playlisting service, now is a fantastic time because we are running a Black Friday sale. It's that time of year. So if you want to take advantage of that, definitely make sure to subscribe to the mailing list so that you can get the subscriber only Black Friday discount. Okay. So go ahead and check that out. That's going to be running this week, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on that discount. Okay. So do that. I want to tell you, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you. So thanks so much for hanging out. I'm going to answer a couple more questions, but I just wanted to get all of that in. And I see a few more questions here. Let's see. Dave is saying, if I'm not getting plays on Spotify, Does it suggest my music is a bit substandard, or am I doing something wrong? That's man, once again, fantastic question. Thanks so much for asking. And man, I would not just jump to the conclusion that your music is substandard. It just it just comes down to the fact that there's nothing driving the stream yet. Okay. And that's okay. If you're starting from zero, if you're a brand new artist, or if you've uploaded a few times, uh, and you're getting 0 streams, what that's telling me is that you've not secured a traffic source for your music to get discovered yet, okay? And I would not rely on Spotify to be that traffic source, and I wouldn't rely on Spotify and the algorithm to, like, boost your music if you've not secured any streams first, and there's a reason for that. It's because Spotify doesn't know how to categorize you. Okay, so Spotify can't do any boosting. It can't put you in any algorithms. It can't help you if to be cliche, if you don't help yourself first. Okay, so Spotify needs data. It needs to figure out what are the listeners that are listening to your music, what's their listener profile, and who's listening for longer, who's listening for shorter, who's dragging your song into one of their own personal lists to save for later. Spotify needs to learn that stuff first, and that's why we need to market our music catalog. There are multiple ways to do that. I cover that in the comparison guide down below. Spotify playlist promotion, which is a form of influencer marketing, is just one way to do that, but we can help you as a company. We do provide that service if you want to become a client. So I hope that answers your question, Dave. It's not necessarily quality being the problem. It definitely could be. I don't want to rule that out. I haven't heard your music, but yeah, if that's you're asking such good questions that I can give you the facts of how the algorithm works, but then there's also the artist development side of me where it's like definitely get some trusted ears on your music. Definitely, listen to that small sorry, a car just drove by. Definitely listen to that small voice inside that is just that's speaking to you, right? Your inner artist, right? And listen to that and trust it. If your inner artist is saying, "Yeah, of course this could be better." Like, yeah, you're on a journey. Like, of course this can get better. Maybe we need to get some collaborators in. Maybe we need to hire a producer. Maybe we need help mixing and mastering, whatever it might be. Yeah, that could be a factor as well. But yeah, maybe there are multiple factors at play, but just from a Spotify algorithm standpoint, definitely Spotify needs input first before it even knows what to do to promote your music. So I just wanted to make sure that part was clear also. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I know there's a few questions that I saw popped in at the end, but we are up against the clock. I just want to say thanks so much for hanging out. This replay will be live if you missed the beginning where I gave like an overall synopsis of what Spotify playlist promotion is, how it fits in. Thanks so much for joining the mailing list. I send out so many guides and blog posts and videos and different even just written advice in the email body itself. So glad to have you just as a subscriber to that portion of the community. If you're subscribed here on YouTube, definitely get the full experience by being on the mailing list as well. And so happy to have spent time with you today. So thanks so much for being here. We will do this again soon. So thanks so much for being a subscriber of the channel as well to get notified. And I hope to see you guys soon. And definitely take advantage of that Black Friday coupon before it expires at the end of the week. So take care, everyone. Best of luck with your music. I hope to see you soon. And thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your week. And for those of you celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Have a great time with your families. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.